Hello, my name's Fern Britton and I'm here to talk about my book, New Beginnings. I've just arrived in Cheltenham today and I have had a very nice time. The first person I walked into was Tim Wonnacott, the antiques man who I love, and we'd never met before, so it was a nice old chat. I felt quite starstruck. And then I attended a very nice lunch with the Women and Home readers and talked a bit about the book, and best of all, they bought a few. And now I've come to the town hall to just have a nice evening of chats with people, and I'm looking forward to it. My book, New Beginnings, is New Beginnings because for me it was New Beginnings, having left television and starting to write a book. And my publishers, HarperCollins, asked me to write something about television. So that was kind of quite easy for me. So I wrote a story about a woman who finds herself in television and all the obstacles that are in the way for her, not least friends who maybe aren't friends, and an agent who is brilliant but is a crook. And I quite enjoyed making up a villain for this girl to play against. Anyway, I hope that if you read it, you enjoy it, and please appreciate that I am a novice writer, but I'm learning as I go, and I've really enjoyed it. And I've written my second one, which comes out in the spring, and that's called Hidden Treasures, and I've enjoyed that one immensely. Creative writing is very interesting. Unfortunately, I have a son who's doing A-level English, and he comes and reads my stuff and says, "Mum, I think that might be better," or "Mum, I like that you've written that." Bless his heart. So he's given me a lot of encouragement. Having been used to writing factual pieces for news reports or scripts of any kind, actually, and writing my own interviews when I interview people, that deals solely in fact, obviously. And suddenly I had the freedom, the liberation of writing a book that didn't have to have any fact in it whatsoever. And I could make things up. And it was such an enjoyable thing to do. I recommend it. Start making up stories. It's really good fun. Creating boundaries for yourself is an interesting thing. I think on live television I'm used to self-editing. In my head I might be using 2 or 3 swear words, but I appreciate that if you're live on television you can't use them. So I have got an internal edit button, and so very often I pull myself back from something that I thought might get me into trouble or might not be quite right. Some nice boys shouting through the window. So sometimes I have no boundary and say ridiculous things and write ridiculous things, but I've fortunately generally worked with bosses who've pulled me back. I love reading myself. I love reading books of all kinds. I like reading non-fiction history books very much indeed, and gardening books, while my husband reads all the recipe books. And fiction, I tend to shy away from anything that's sad. I can't cope with unhappy endings, sadness, children dying. I'm not good about that at all. It's The Kite Runner. Everyone told me to read The Kite Runner, and it's brilliant, and I loved it, and I loved the description and everything. But what happened to that little boy, and if you haven't read it, I won't spoil it for you, broke my heart, and it just coloured the whole story for me. And I know these things happen in real life. Perhaps it's because I spent years in news and I understand what it's like, to get all those real life stories. I don't like it. So I've decided not to go in the deep and the depth and the murkiness, but swim along in the world with my head on the surface, reading happy, jolly stories.